Hi, Jen. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome.
See you. So, I don't even know where to start. I'm like an overdrive over this. We have a very cool connection that we're going to talk about in a minute, and her and I talked about this yesterday, but if I don't go to what you brought in first, I'll get yelled at. So let's talk about what you brought in.
So I brought you a little bit of everything. So this is one of our plated desserts that we do in the evening. So this is our take on the tiramisu. And this is a coffee Negroni that pairs with the tiramisu. So the Negroni has a little bit of the coffee aspect in the tiramisu, and the bitterness of the Campari kind of reduces the sweetness in this very kind of decadent dessert.
Wow.
Then the next thing I brought is our chocolate bourbon cake, which is
Look at that.
something that we have in the retail space every day. We have them whole, you can get them by the slice, and this is a
You can get it by the slice anytime?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
This is a really deep, rich, dark chocolate cake. And then this is one of the desserts, or actually the appetizers that we're going to be preparing at the Sucre event. We have to do 2 savory appetizers, and then we do a sweet dessert. So this is one of our appetizers.
See, she's finally the one. Somebody's finally bringing something to tell us one things. Alan gave us a little preview. All right, it was nice and it's delicious. I loved it. I'll be in more of it. So tell us, describe what this is.
So this is a goat cheese mousse with olive tartlet. It has a tomato, mint, and a little bit of roasted vinegar drizzle on top.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Okay, so now you got one thing for sure that you know you're going to be able to get when you go there. Right there. See how beautiful that is? And that's your appetizer portion of it. So, and then you said everybody's doing 2,
Yep.
the appetizers and then the dessert
Yep.
portion of it. So now, you not only knows what she looks like, you know what she's going to be serving. You can take pictures with her when she's there. And now you participated this back in February as well, right?
No,
Oh, you did?
this is
Okay.
our first time.
It's your first time.
In February, we were swamped moving into our new space.
That's right.
So I was covered in tile dust and paint, and like you would not want to see me in
Yeah, I
February.
can understand that. I'm going to try this because this sounds absolutely amazing. Not that I'm trying all that in a little bit too. So tell us about the new space because it hasn't been long that you've been in.
No, we opened up in May 15th. We had a grand opening in June. So it's over on Westminster Street, 1413. It used to be the old Healing Paws vet space. They moved down the road, and we took over their space. And so we did a complete renovation. The kitchen is moved over there, so we do all of our baking there. And there's a little side window where you can look into the decorating area and watch the decorators decorate the cakes, make all the little sugar pieces. Then we have a retail area with seats. We have a case with muffins and cake slices. We get some stuff for like turnovers.
There was so much in there. It was
Yeah.
So I stopped in literally a week ago because it was in the evening when I stopped in. And to give a kind of being a Rhode Islander kind of landmark thing is that if you've been to Louis Fuller's, and Louis
Yes.
Fuller's has been on the taste, is if you've been to Louis Fuller's, you are like a half a block or so
Yeah.
away from where you are.
Yeah.
And now the new Pastel is across the street
Yes.
from you, up on the corner there.
Yeah.
Basically right on the
Yeah.
corner. There's another little shop next to it there. So that area, again, now Louis Fuller's are over there. This area is now going to be another up and coming part of the city.
Yeah, it's been really great. We also have the bar.
Yes.
Um,
Which is why I was there.
The fact that we have both Pastel and Louis Fuller like really close is great. We get a lot of people who eat dinner out
Right.
and then come to us afterwards for like an extra drink, a little sweet thing. It's been perfect.
And you've got espresso and
Yeah,
cappuccino.
yeah.
And
We have
so,
a really cool espresso system. It's called the Mod Bar system, and all the equipment is underneath the bar. And then we just have these great silver heads that are above the bar.
Oh,
And
right.
yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
And it's the only one in Rhode Island right now.
all right, I probably had too many glasses of wine and didn't think to ask about this because, when I went to Pastel, I enjoyed something, was talking to the chef owner, and I couldn't get a cappuccino because they don't have an espresso system yet. So they nicely said, oh, you should run over to Sin and do it. So I ended up having an after dinner drink and a cappuccino, and before I know it, I was there 45 minutes and forgot I had to go back and pay my bill at the other place. So it was incredibly, and it was a 2-minute walk crossing the street
Oh,
to
yeah.
go right to where you are.
Yeah, we can
So,
see each of them.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And I got the cappuccino, And I didn't think, I saw the silver on the top, but I
Yeah.
didn't think about where that was coming from.
My husband works in Boston, so he went to a shop that had this in Boston when we were talking about this, and he's like, oh, if we ever do this, this is a great system. Like, it's beautiful, it's out of the way, you can watch people make it, like, I love it. And so when we finally got to doing this, we checked the mod bar system out, and we fell in love with it.
That's awesome. And it was a delicious cappuccino, just have to say. So, talking about when getting around to doing this, and you just mentioned that you guys talked about the different things you want to do. This was not always where you were going to go, and this goes back to our connection here. This was not always
No.
your thing of doing, right? Your career move, right?
This was not. This was something that I grew up doing. Grandma lived next door. I, wrote pie dough with her and, put the little stamps on the peanut butter cookies. And I always loved baking, but I was worried about losing that love of baking if I went right into it after high school.
Right.
So I looked at Johnson & Wales at that time, but I decided to go into radio, TV, film, because that's another love of mine. So I actually went to York, Pennsylvania for my undergraduate, and then went to Syracuse for my graduate, and then worked at, it was Citadel Communications, but
Yeah.
it's WPRO, like 105, that group of radio stations for 11, 12 years
Wow. Before you got into this.
before I got into this.
So, complete change of pace.
Yes,
Like,
complete.
not even close to anything there.
Exactly.
But, so she went to Syracuse, where I'm from, and you've heard me joke around the fact that I call it Snowacuse.
Okay.
So when I brought this is exactly what she did. So when I brought it up to her the other day when we were talking, I said, "Oh, Snowacuse." So it does nothing but snow there, as far as I'm concerned. It's probably could be snowing there right now, for all I know, in Syracuse. So
You used to have to look out behind the snowbanks because they were so high
Yep.
before you crossed the road, because otherwise you were bound to get hit.
It was-
You have to peek around and all right, I can go.
still have never seen snow as high in my life as I did growing up in Syracuse.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
have this rule with my family that after November 1st, I don't go back to Syracuse until April to visit them. They have to come here to visit me.
I do the same.
But she is a Cuse fan of the Orange Men, and I saw that
Oh,
you support
yeah.
the Orange Men, so I am happy to have that connection and see that. But to go from communications, and you went all the way through, worked a number of years in doing it, and then you went into what is now your passion
Yeah.
to doing this.
Yeah.
So then you went to Johnson Wales for a little while to learn some of this and kind of bring back that old refresher of.
Yeah, I knew how to bake, but when it came to frosting cakes really elaborately and doing some more of the plated desserts, that just wasn't my strong point. I was really great at cookies, but
Mhm.
so there was actually a really big Powerball around that same time.
Just like tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And they did a radio bit and hey, if you won 300 million or whatever it was at the time, what would you do? And my answer was I would open a bakery. So that got me thinking, and I looked in Johnson & Wales, and they had the continuing ed program that worked on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I did that program for 2 years, and stayed at the radio station for another year or so, kind of figuring out exactly how I wanted to do it. Then finally made the cut and started baking for a restaurant, and then using their space to do wedding cakes, and then kind of transitioned into wedding cakes and custom cakes, and it went from there.
So that seems like, again, talking about the collaboration with all of you guys, that seems like a nice trend. So Lori was just saying the same thing, that she started at Hope in Maine. All of you guys have had different people that you can lean on for
Yeah.
these resources to build it up.
Yeah.
That's
The
just something.
restaurant community in Providence is incredible. Everyone knows everyone helps everyone. We reached out to the Dorrance when we were going through drinks. Lynn over at 7 Stars, I would pick her brain about what kind of POS system did you use.
I have to agree. We're very
everyone
fortunate.
is great.
Yeah, the restaurant community here, I have to be very fortunate. So I just got 3 messages in a row complimenting that these look amazing, that looks amazing. I am Cherry, Jim, I got all your messages, I just checked. Thank you, now she knows it's amazing. So I'm trying to keep up with everybody, it's going crazy. So the fact that you made this transition and that you'd be able to do this, your variety of things, and this was what was amazing even going in, I think I was over there 9 o'clock or something that I went in, is that the variety of what you have is stupendous. I mean, it's not like there's one set style of pastry or dessert to be in there. I mean, and ordering the cakes, so people can, I saw these amazing, their Instagram is amazing, you have to check it out. Patriot cakes
Yes.
and kids cakes, and I mean wedding cakes that were beyond beautiful. So how big is your team now that you're over there?
The team is about, I want to say maybe 18, 19,
Wow.
which was 5, I think,
When you
at the
moved
beginning
in
of
this
last year. So it's been a really big jump. A little scary.
Success can be scary.
Yeah.
Success can be scary.
So we're just looking to really kind of get the word out there. You know, come for coffee. We don't have lines in the morning. We have really great baristas. You know, stay for we have vegan breakfast scones. A
Really?
lot of gluten-free things.
Molly, did you hear that? Vegan breakfast scones.
So we're just trying to like really grow in this new space and get more people in the door and support those 18 people that are now working for us.
And that's another good thing. There's an economic engine of having those people. It's phenomenal. How did you guys decide to settle in that area, to settle in that space in that area of the city? Because again, Louis Fuller's was great in having someone there, but it wasn't a known spot to go into.
No, we looked at a lot of spots. We spent probably 2 years looking at spots around Providence, and we had given up. Like we were done. And then somebody knew a friend, and they reached out, and they're like, "Hey, we have this spot," and so we went over to see it. And it was the best spot we had seen so far.
Awesome.
And it was on Main Street, which was one of the things that we really wanted. And we're like, all right, this is great. And then the whole thing fell through again. Like, there was a lot of up and downs in this, like so many. It was exhausting. And finally, the owner, Jeff Corey from the Animal Vet, reached out to us and like, hey, I have another person who's kind of interested, but I really want to see you guys here. Like, would you mind taking a look at it again? Maybe with a different contractor, maybe it can fit your budget this time. Just, you know, give it one more go.
That's awesome.
And so we did, and here we are.
Well, Jeff, thank you for pushing us to check it out again. If you're checking this out, we appreciate that because now you have brought us Sin over there. So next thing, Sin, the name, because there's also this wicked that we see in there that's combining the things.
Yeah.
And she was asking about the coat, which I love. The white coat stand out, beautiful. Where'd you come up with the name Sin?
Way back. Like, we would go out together with my girlfriends, and, you know, it's girlfriend talk. We were all single at the time. We would talk about boys or food. And it was always...
What a combination.
I was like, always, I had this incredible, whatever it was. I feel so bad, but it was so good that I had to have it. So it was like, it was a sin to have this incredible, great thing. And so that's where the name came from.
I love that. See, completely different than half the people that sent me messages thought. That is awesome. I absolutely love that.
Yes, we're not evil. No, not too much.
Well, there was people saying that it had, sinfully desserts and, playoff delicious or something like, there was all these people.
It works into a lot of things.
Right, but that story's the best story. That's an awesome story for it. So, expansion-wise for you guys, your hours are already, you have a lot of hours.
We do. We're actually, I think we might be cutting down some of our evening hours. We're finding that like Monday and Tuesday are really slow.
Beginning of the week, right?
Yeah, so I believe we're going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to 11 p.m.
Okay.
Sunday to 9 p.m. and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to 6. And we open at 7 a.m. every day.
So 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on those peak days that you're talking about. That's a lot of hours to cover to have people over there. How have you found that are people now starting to find you and come over to the area and the space because you're there? Because I have to say that the night that I went there was a group of 3 people that came in 2 minutes after me, and they purposely came there. Like they were destined to come there at that same time that I was coming.
It's been so we opened in May, and May and June were just like really big growth for us. It was great. Then summer hits Providence.
Right.
So July and August is kind of like steadied off.
Right.
So we're actually hoping to see more of that big growth once September hits and the students come back and people are on vacation, because we could definitely be busier. We always have seats. We always, have room for coffee.
So this is a perfect example of how you can support someone that is growing in the industry, is hiring people, and participating in the community events. Because what you guys are, again, what you're all doing for Sucre and these amazing appetizers, which I will be having a preview of before the event, this is a great way for you to be giving back. Now, with the stuff that you already have going in there, is there a specific way that people look to order these things from you? Do you prefer that they come into the shop, or do they go online, or because
So-
the cake business and the special order business has got to be a wonderful piece.
Yes, that was what we started with, and that's still our strong point. If you need something right away, we always have a few
Yes.
cakes that you can stop by,
Yep.
grab a cake before you go to a party or as a thank you. It's lasts a lot shorter than
I'm
flowers,
perfectly
but
doing this. Say thank you for me. It's fine. I'm okay. Stop there.
but then for the custom cakes, we really like a week's notice. Give us a call, send us an email. If you have some ideas, some pictures, send those along. We can get a quote turned around pretty fast. We just need to know how many people you need to feed and what your specifics are.
So that was one of the questions I have: is what kind of information do you have? And you just answered part of it, of looking for someone that's doing these orders, because a lot of people, if they haven't ordered a wedding cake or something in the past,
Yeah.
they're not familiar. And now, like, we order a cake for one of my kids' birthdays. We don't make anything, we go to get it. Now I think we're professionals at doing it. But so you just mentioned that knowing how many people you want to order for is important.
Yeah, because that determines what size we're going to do. Are we going to do like a 10-inch round to feed 40 people? Do you want a 2-tier to feed 40 people? Kind of design-wise, do you want to keep it really simple with buttercream? Do you want something more elaborate with fondant? And also what flavor? That's important.
And the creativity part of it, flavor is incredibly important. So the creativity part of it, though, from what I've seen when I stopped in, and then what I've seen also on the Instagram and your Facebook that is out there, is that you have a large. I mean, it seems like you take their thoughts and you can almost
Yeah.
make pretty much anything.
That's what we love best. Like we had a little elephant cake on Instagram, I think yesterday,
Yep.
and that was a woman who called and like, hey, we have a baby shower. It's going to be a boy. I need to have an elephant on it somewhere. Just get me a cute baby boy elephant cake.
And that was adorable.
And that is like, we love being able to be creative. And so give us that amount of information and we'll take it and go. But also if there's something that you've seen on Pinterest or somewhere else, you're like, I really like this, but I want the colors changed, or instead of stripes, I want dots. We can also work from photos that you've seen.
Beautiful. And then there was one thing I wanted to make sure that I asked, because it's coming up before you know it, holidays.
Yes.
So I got a question about, is there specific things that you're promoting or putting out there for the holidays?
So we always do a cake for the holidays. So we'll have a Halloween cake, we'll have a Thanksgiving cake, and we'll have a Christmas cake. These will be like more decorated and special kind of centerpiece cakes. And then we also do pies. We'll do 4 packs of cinnamon rolls that you could heat up for Christmas morning with frosting on the side. We do our cheddar bacon biscuits, which you can, we'll give you frozen and you can cook them fresh. We do cookie platters, small items. So we do a lot of like Christmas parties and Thanksgiving parties. So
Okay.
we have little tartlets, mini whoopie pies, mini cupcakes, brownie bites, and mini cookies. And so for a cocktail party or for like a small Christmas gathering or something like that, we do a lot of those things. And then we can also do packages for corporate gifts. So baskets of cookies that you want to send to your customers, like they'll be fresh made, we'll deliver them.
So not only do you have an insane variety, because everything she just said is the more choices and you know what to do with there, but you've got the ability to do corporate and home stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's-
and we'll deliver. So just let us know what you need.
So those cakes are out for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are all themed around those particular holidays.
Yep, and so we
Perfect.
have the designer working on Halloween and Thanksgiving right now, and she should have those done next week, and so we'll start promoting those.
So you'll be getting a preview very soon. Now you know to look for that next week. So it's a creative event Monday. We're
Yeah.
looking forward to having you be a part of that. I know it's going to be an awesome event. I'm very glad that you're participating with the ladies. That this is a nice idea that's come together. Thank you for investing in the city of Providence and
Oh, I
for
love
educating
Providence.
us, not just on the wonderful things that you're creating, but how people can work with you to get their dreams, their sweet dreams back to reality. So thank you so much for
Oh,
coming in.
thank
I
you.
really
This is
appreciate
great.
it.